Hello, I'm Ryan F9, and this is the best helmet I've worn all year.
The Scorpion EXO ST 1400 has the most luscious carbon finish. Glossy carbon, matte carbon, fake fabric carbon.
It's a couple $100 cheaper than you'd expect, so Scorpion doesn't want us to forget that it is actually carbon. At 1440 grams, we're unlikely to. But light means loud. Where heavy plastic deadens the wind, twitchy carbon drums against your ears. Manufacturers have to compensate by making an extra tight sound seal at the bottom. X-Lite uses a movable liner to customize the fit. Arai uses spring-loaded cheek pads to seal well against your jawline. But Scorpion has the wisest and cheapest solution of them all.
AirFit. Pump it up to perfectly mold your face.
This makes a tight seal against road noise coming through the neck hole, like other premium brands. But because the air bladder also creates an air gap between the shell and the helmet interior, it actually helps to eliminate the noise of wind drumming on the helmet as well.
With 3 shells encasing 6 sizes, all of us get a slim and attractive outline. Although it might be a little too slim for Gene Simmons because I find myself accidentally licking the chin bar occasionally. In the box, getting a pinlock visor is ordinary, getting a second shield is extraordinary.
Consider the SHOEI GT-Air II. Its bloodline traditionally sits on the touring rider's throne, so this is precisely what Scorpion aims to unseat.
It's almost $300 and 200 grams fatter than its rival. SHOEI spent much of that weight on these side pods, which accept a bespoke Sena Bluetooth system.
But 50% of us don't use comms. The other half should be on superior Cardo units anyway, and all of us can see the benefit of a universal device that could be moved to a different helmet in the future. So no, getting into bed with Sena is not a good reason to gain weight.
What else is new? SHOEI claims an improved ventilation scheme, by which they mean that these rear vents used to be closable, but now they suck winter's chill across your skull whether you like it or not. Improvement?
They also upgraded to a ratchet strap, which is universally hated in North America, and they dig into our double chins.
The sun shield does drop low enough to cover the sun now, and the city visor position is no longer wide enough for a pigeon to fly through, but I give little credit to writing something that should have been right in the first place.
No, the GT-Air II is little more than an excuse to raise prices beyond the GT-Air I. Now, SHOEI doesn't make a lot of bad eggs, but ew.
All that to say, our Scorpion EXO ST 1400 is indisputably the best touring helmet on the market. And if you must buy a SHOEI, get the recently discounted, soon-to-be discontinued GT-Air I.
But buy replacement pads at the same time. When you need them 3 years from now, SHOEI won't be making them anymore. On a budget, I'd take the $250 Icon AIRFORM. This replaces the Alliance and Alliance GT, but it gets its sun shield and touring DNA from the latter.
These rear cowls can be swapped to color match your bike, and this shield is the same optically perfect wide field of view lens from Icon's most expensive Airframe Pro.
Wait, does Icon really have helmets called the Airframe, Airflight, and Airform? Yes, because they hate us and want our jobs to be difficult.
This Airform is comfier to wear than Icon's other lids. Their helmets tend to the narrow side of oval, but only the Airform has such a ridiculous, gorgeous upswoop.
That makes it easier to pull apart and pull on. My Dumbos always get smashed by Icon lids, but not with the Airform.
For this project, Icon employed their usual graphic designer, Satan, so you can expect some wicked colorways. Everything else is just whatever. A 1625 gram polycarb, whatever. A disappointingly disposable helmet bag, whatever. A Pro-Lock positive locking shield, aka a peg and hole, whatever.
Icon even bragged about how the internal sun visor has an exterior switch. Wow. I presumed that was needless to say, until I met the AGV K1.
Its chin vent is sealed by a tiny lever inside the helmet. With gloves on, I'd have a better chance of plucking my nose hair than finding this tab.
However, the chin bar vent can theoretically be closed, and that is a step up from Icon's AIRFORM. The K1 competes in other ways too.
It's similarly punchy with an Italian accent. If the AIRFORM is notorious BIG cranked up to 99, then AGV's K1 is Pavarotti belting out a Forte. Pavarotti's silhouette is almost identical to the $2,000 Pista GP. The same spoiler that keeps Rossi's head down, the same expansive field of view that lets him spot Marquez escaping over the horizon.
Surprisingly, the Italian import is a smidge cheaper than our homeboy Icon. It is an HIR-TH shell though, which is advertised for high resistance thermoplastic resin, which is thermoplastic, which is dog shit. Not unsafe or anything, just kinda heavy at 1650 grams, and it'll scratch if you set it down on anything other than a baby kitten.
I should also mention that the shield slams into this lower shelf before it can really push against the rubber gasket. A super weird design that lets in a whistle of air. But as the K1 has no sun visor, as it's more of a sport helmet than a comfy quiet tourer, it's forgivable.
Both are stunningly beautiful for how affordable they are. Just take the K1 on track and the AIRFORM on tour. With adventure helmets, I'm torn between the Climb Krios Pro and NOLAN N72X. Each has futuristic features we've never seen.
Choroid is the big advancement for Climb. Basically, it's a bunch of tiny tubes with a similar impact absorption to EPS foam, only air can flow straight through this stuff.
Choroid came from the bicycle world, where sweating is existing. But the benefit applies to us too. The coolest, most breathable adventure helmet.
Another rare feature is Fidlock, this magnetic strap that finds its own way shut.
On the gloved hand, that's super convenient. But on the other hand, I could probably knock it open. Now, most of us cling to our double D rings like horny teenagers. I'm not sure Fidlock is enough of an improvement to knock us off the teat. But I like that Climb offers a new alternative that's definitely better than the strangling ratchet straps.
Kudos for caring about crash data too. If you bail in Climb gear, they're so keen to study the damage that they send you free replacements. The rest of this helmet is similar to the $600 base model Krios. You get a Transitions photochromic lens with the Pro version, which makes its $900 price tag more understandable, if not more palatable. Truth is, the peak casts an uneven shadow on the lens, so its usefulness is blotchy at best. Both the Krios and Krios Pro are around 1350 grams, a featherweight you pay for with comically flimsy padding and visors. But despite the eventual sore head and eardrums, there is no better helmet for bombing trails on a big bike, and that is why I personally use one.
NOLAN's N72X is tempting me away though. This is PJ homologated, meaning it can legally be used as a protective full face or a jet helmet. There simply is nothing more versatile.
Adventure, MX, Jet, Open Face, Old School, Street, and whatever the hell you want to call these two configurations. I have no reason to assume this is unsafe. The chin bar on the old N44 version was deeply impressive. If anything, this new design is stubbier and stronger. Its enormous shield tested well too. I was pulling for it because the unimpeded view through this eye port is incredible. You visually cannot see that you're wearing a helmet. Tech is everywhere. Shock cords on the neck roll ensure a wind and noise-proof seal, and the pinlock pegs can be pivoted as tensioners.
This is brilliant because it's difficult to get an airtight seal with pinlocks. If the silicone border isn't stretched into perfect contact, then the fog proofing is gone. It's worthless. So I love the tensioner pegs, and I actually like the COM hookup.
You'd expect this to incite pure hatred, but what fits here is the NCOM B901, which has an emergency stop signal at the back, and that's an innovation I simply cannot dislike. For $400, the N72X is a whole lot of helmet. My main complaint is that there's too much going on, like the automatic sun visor retraction mechanism. Springs get weak, they squeak, they fail to retract fully. I would much prefer to simply move the sunshade under my own finger power.
And because of all these features, it tends to run big. 1,800 grams and only 2 shells covering 7 sizes. If you're a triple XL or a medium, it's gonna look slim. If you're an extra small or a large, you're a bobblehead. I'll close with the Bell Eliminator, which is an auto racing tribute with one epic feature.
This Pro Vision lens is the first permanent double pane I've seen on a motorcycle helmet. Forget pin lock inserts, this is hardwired fog proofing that you never have to adjust or recondition.
Hopefully down the road we'll see this on every bucket. But for now, thank you Bell for getting us moving.
$500 is plenty for a helmet with the same ventilation scheme as Whack-A-Mole. Rainwater will drill through these holes and onto your head unless you buy the cowl separately. On the plus side, these grommet vents no longer whistle like they did on the Bell Bullet, they look as classic as ever, and at 1445 grams, it is premium level light.
Thank you for watching.